The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
A story that blew my mind. You know, there was a woman who was a doctor, and she lived right outside of the Warsaw Cemetery. And her name was Dr. Magda Bukovsky. One day, there's a knock at her door. And as she opens the door, she sees a scrawny-looking patient whose clothing is tattered, whose face is dirty, she's undernourished. And Magda Bukovsky, the Polish non-Jewish doctor, realizes immediately that this girl, by the way, her name was Leah, this woman was Jewish. She was from the other side of the ghetto wall. I don't know if you know this, but the punishment at the time in Poland for harboring a Jewish fugitive from the Warsaw Ghetto was death, not only for the Jew and not only for you, but they would murder your entire family. Your husband, all your children. I always say that I remember once in my life having the opportunity to say Kaddish at the gravesite of 5 non-Jewish Poles, where we got a psak halacha from the chief rabbi of Israel that said that we should say Kaddish there. To say Kaddish for 5 non-Jewish people who risked their lives, got caught, were murdered outside the barn that they hid the Jews in. Dr. Bukovsky looks at this woman. She knows exactly what this means. She knows the price. I'm sure she's thinking of her own kids, and she says, I'm really sorry, you can't be here. It's dangerous, you cannot be here. And Leah looks at this doctor in the eyes, and she says, please, I tried to wait it out. I risked my life to come here. It got to a point where it was so bad that I knew that if I didn't come and risk my life, I was dead anyway. Please. She looks this way. She looks that way. She says, come in quickly. Don't let anyone else see you. She ushers Leah in. She checks her out. She discovers exactly what's wrong, what's killing her, and tells her what she needs to do in order to solve it. Leah gets up. And as she's about to leave, the doctor says, what are you going to do? How are you going to go home? How are you going to get the medicine that you need? Leah says, what do you mean? What choice do I have? And Dr. Magda Bukovsky hesitates for only the shortest split second and then says, you should stay here with me. Dr. Bukovsky's apartment was directly across the street from the Gestapo headquarters. You should stay with me. And Leah turns to Dr. Bukovsky and says, I would love to, but I can't. Why not? I'm telling you it's fine. I'll get you the medication. I'll get you the food. You'll survive the war if you stay with me. There's no way you're going to make it out there. And Leah says, I know, but I'm responsible for my kids and for the kids of my sister. I'm responsible for taking care of 13 children. If I stay here, there'll be no one to take care of them. I can't stay here, even if it means that it will save my life. I need to go sort them out, take care of them, get them the help that they need, get them the food that they need. And Magda says to Leah, you know what? Bring him too. It takes a little while as they smuggle child after child from the ghetto into this apartment under the eyes of the Gestapo officers until 14 souls are under this doctor's roof. Inches from danger. And they all survive. 6 years or 5 years they're in her house. Unbelievable. The care, the chesed that a human being could have for a human being that's nothing like them. Not the same religion, not the same background, not the same social status, at tremendous personal risk. When Rav Shimshon Pincus told over the story, they asked him, how is it possible that this doctor in the beginning is shutting the door in the face of a patient she swore under the Hippocratic Oath to protect, do no harm? She was ready to shut the door in her face. How did she go from there to taking in 14 people and not just seeing them as a doctor for 2 seconds, hiding them for the rest of the war? And Rav Pincus said, it's something that burned a hole into my memory, into my consciousness. He said she did not take in 14 souls. She opened the door. She did a tiny thing. She looked in the eyes of this woman, and after seeing that the woman was in such desperate pain, she opened up her heart enough that she could crack open the door a little. And once you've done one act of chesed, of kindness, you've planted a seed. And the opening of the door allows you to offer her to stay. And the offer of allowing her to stay allows for an even bigger tree to grow with more branches where you could save an entire family. That's how chesed works.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org